Hey everybody, it's Max, the Magic Travel Guy, here with Mrs. Magic Travel Guy. We are going to review and recap our 2020 Walt Disney World trip that we just took not even a week ago.
Yeah.
We just kind of got back from this, but we had a wonderful time down there in Florida and wanted to share some of the insights that we had, review some of the new things we did, recap some of our favorites, and just kind of, share our Disney knowledge with everyone. So overall, I think it was a pretty awesome trip, don't you?
Yeah, it was really fun. We went from January 1st and came home on the 6th. From spending time in Disney World, and it was great. We took a trip with my parents, and my brother ended up showing up in the middle of it to surprise us. So a lot going on, and Disney is one of our favorite places to go, and Max obviously loves it a lot. And has a lot of planning in, but it was really, really fun, and every year we've taken our kids. It's been a different experience, that's for sure, as a lot of you who have had kids or know how it's like to pull around young ones. Ours were 3.5 and 1.5 this year, and so it just is such a joy for us as we experience it as adults, which we love, and then also get to see it through the lens of little ones as well.
So, the day we got there, January 1st, like Lisa said, earlier that day, we were at the Outback Bowl watching the Gophers take down Auburn. So it was a busy day for us. Right after the game ended, we saw the Gophers win, Sky Yuma. We hopped in the boat. Rode the boat. We rode the boat. Gophers victory. Then we transitioned from being Golden Gopher fans to being Disney fans. Hopped in the van, drove from Tampa into Orlando, and we went straight to our wonderful Art of Animation Resort. This is where we stayed on our vacation. Lisa and I have stayed here. This is our second time at Art of Animation. They have regular rooms, regular in terms of, 2 beds, bathroom, what have you. Those are Little Mermaid themed. We stayed in family suites while we were at the Art of Animation. They have 3 different categories for those: Finding Nemo, Cars, and the Lion King. We were in the Nemo, kind of right by the pool, right by this splash zone area. You can see our kids here. Like I said, it was right outside of our room. They have this great zero entry pool and the splash pad, which got a ton of use out of it from our kids and others.
Yeah, definitely one of our favorite places we've stayed for many reasons. I like the immersion into what I would call the traditional Disney World sense, and that's why I like this resort so much. And it is so visual throughout the entire place. And if you're a Little Mermaid fan, there's an entire area full of giant Ursula, Ariel, Eric, every one of the characters. And then you go into the car side, and that's the same thing. And then we were in the central zone, which was Finding Nemo, which our son absolutely could not get enough of, and loved all the fish everywhere. So from a colors and Disney standpoint and closeness of all the amenities on the resort property, this is definitely ranks up into our favorite currently for us right now. And I will say our family suite was great. It was a private room with a king bed and private bathroom with doors that close into a room that had a pull-down Murphy bed, fuller queen size, and then another room in which a couch with a really nice mattress. Sometimes pull-out couches in hotels are awful, and this one is not. And then room for kitchen and eating as well, and another bathroom out there. So we really enjoy this layout a lot when we're traveling.
Yeah, and one of the things I didn't mention before is we're bringing this up here. They have some play areas here. Like Lisa mentioned, it's very Disney themed. You can go to a lot of resorts at the Disney property, and they might not be as Disney themed as this one, but you've got this little playground area. Our kids every morning and sometimes at night would come and they'd play here on the slides. The Cars Land area, all the cars that they had there, they had Lightning McQueen, they had Doc. Their headlights even light up at night, so they really try to immerse you into that Disney culture.
Yeah, for sure. Fair price. Like I said, easy to get around. We do not like wasting our time trying to get back to our room at night through different systems of buses and different things. So that's all around for us. This is like the perfect place as we stand. And then recently, the big upgrade. I mean, I don't even think is gives it credit for what happened, but they introduced a gondola system.
So this is the Disney
Yep.
Skyliner. This is what you're looking at. Our resort was kind of right here, and then on the other side of the water was Pop Century. Right in the middle of the water, they had the station for the Skyliner. We were the end of the line. We took this then to Caribbean Beach. From there, we could go to Hollywood Studios, which was like a 3-minute ride.
Yeah, it was so short.
Or we could go from there to the Riviera Resort, which then would go on to Epcot, and that was maybe 15. But our first few days, we didn't take the normal buses that you see a lot of people taking on Disney property. We took this Skyliner system. Our first day, we actually just rode it just to get used to it.
For fun, which was a good thing.
It was good for Lisa. I know there was a little trepidation. For Dakota, our daughter, for her, it was the first ride of her trip, so she absolutely loved that. I'm going to bring up a picture of her here on that. So this was her and I. We hopped on. She loved it. Again,
Yes.
This was a transportation method for us, but also a fun ride and a great way to really view some of the Disney property that maybe you don't get to see every day.
Also, cramming on buses with a bunch of people, not that it's a problem at Disney. I appreciate the transportation around, but it was a nice break and to give a different variety of getting to the parks, because we would just ride this mostly with the people that we traveled with, and we didn't have to worry about getting everything super organized and squishing on a bus with other people. So all around, A+, I would say, for the installation of the Skyliner system at Disney.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's probably going to make us stay on the Skyliner system more often, or places close to it, just because it was so convenient. And then now let's move into the next day. It was our first day at the parks, and we decided to go to Epcot. We'd usually gone to Epcot in the evenings and really hadn't given it the time that we had hoped to. So first thing in the morning, we went out to Epcot, met Mickey Mouse.
Right away.
Right away. We walked in. So we normally would go in the front entrance of Epcot, and then they have a side entrance over by where the countries are. Went into that entrance because that's right off the Skyliner system. Walked in, and there was the man himself, Mickey Mouse. We were able to meet Minnie right afterwards. But we had a gorgeous day at Epcot. It was maybe 80 degrees. Once we met Mickey, like I said, we met Minnie, moved on. Here's Dakota in front of England, acting like a little teapot. Right outside of there, Rocco and I went and met Winnie the Pooh, and then Dakota got to meet
Alice, which was her first time meeting Alice. That was really fun for her as well.
We also got to meet Anna and Elsa. We're really big into Frozen 2 at our house right now, so we made sure that Dakota got to meet them. They have the Royal Summer House over in Norway at Epcot, so we stopped in there and met the ladies after going on the ride. And I'll let Lisa kind of cover this one. While we did a lot of the family fun stuff, we did have a moment or two along the trip to do a little adulting.
A moment or two. I would say I adulted the entire trip. This is Angela. I see you're watching. Hi, Jackie, too, as well. Love you both. This Angela you'll love a lot, as this was a tribute, I guess, to our friends Angela and Danny we love drinking tequila with. But I will say, first and foremost, when I hear people talk about Disney World and wanting to take their kids there when they're ready, shame. Disney World is not for children. It's for everyone. And so when I hear that, it kind of breaks my heart. Epcot is one of those places that Max and I love to go to because it's really safe from a standpoint of if you want to sample some beverages and walk around and you have transportation provided, it's really great. So Epcot's the one where we take full advantage of this for sure. I started my day actually in Mexico and ended my day in Mexico. I first got a michelada early in the morning, but then my parents were so gracious and took the kids back as Max and I stayed and explored a little more. We found our way into this tequila bar, which is apparently like one of the best tequila bars.
It's got great reviews. It's
ever?
called Lacava Del Tequila. It's inside the Mexico Pavilion. We'd never been to it. Every time we'd go in, we'd just kind of take in the sights, and it's just tucked over on the right-hand side. Small little place, but as you can see with this image, they've got a great tequila selection. And
a really good idea. We went there when the park was closing in an hour because I think we would have accidentally spent the entire day if we would have started there. It was so fun. So we ended up we both got the same drink, right?
Yes.
Because we both love spicy margaritas.
This drink right here.
And saw it on the menu and absolutely had to get it. So we ended up getting a spicy margarita. Cucumber, I think, was muddled up in there, and some jalapenos and different things, but it was really delightful. I would have probably gone back again if I was in Epcot again and got the exact same drink. So that was really fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I made the mistake of when we were finishing it, I was eating the cucumber that was in the bottom because it was soaked in the margarita, and I got a little bit of the the jalapeno, and I was a little on fire for a while. Wasn't expecting that. As we're walking around World Showcase trying to get back.
So
you know.
overall, pretty fun. Epcot
Yeah.
was a great day. We've been before, obviously, so it wasn't our first time there. But I will say that one of my favorite things about it was we spent the whole day there. We never rush at Epcot. We didn't do everything, and we try not to every time we go to parks, not stress about that. But overall, it was a pretty casual day for us.
Right, and people that might be going there soon, there's a little construction going on. They've got some new rides, but it didn't really inconvenience us whatsoever. We spent most of our time in World Showcase, and that was
Where all the countries are.
all the countries are. One of the cool things, if you are a Ratatouille fan, they are building the Ratatouille ride over in France, and we were able to see the backside. You know, Disney tries to make sure that you don't ever see behind the curtain, but as you're coming in on the Skyliner gondola, we got to see that was getting prepped for the summer. So the next day, we headed off to Hollywood Studios. And I will say, going in, Hollywood Studios for, I think, both of us was always our fourth park that we ranked. Out of Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. I didn't really give Hollywood Studios that much love in the past, but I'll let Lisa take it from here and let you know that changed quite a bit.
Changed quite a bit. Hollywood, yeah, definitely was the one that if we didn't have time, we wouldn't go to, or we went for a few hours. But wow, was I blown away. They opened Star Wars Land in 2019 in the second half of the year. And when I say Star Wars Land, it's a massive area that you could spend the entire day in. So unlike, I think, a historic way people think about theme parks and thematic areas, it was not a ride themed around a movie, right? It's an entire area, shops and restaurants and bars and rides and all these different things. But my favorite part about it is the characters walk around the entire time. And I'd gone to do something and came back, and one of the characters from the movie, or someone who you'd find in the Star Wars universe, was walking around talking to Dakota, giving her quite a hard time because Dakota's a huge Stormtrooper fan. But that was really fun, and we took great photos, and everything about it, I think it stole the show for me in terms of the trip, and just surprise and delight, and they couldn't have done it, I don't think, much better.
Yeah, it was absolutely stunning. If you are a Star Wars fan, you know what the Millennium Falcon is. You come around this corner, and there is a full-size Millennium Falcon just sitting there. The colors at night, like Lisa talked about before, there's these blues and purples that just really, they really pop. And then, like Lisa said, with Dakota and the Stormtroopers, she was carrying one. They came by, Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren looked at her as she had her Stormtrooper, and he just said, "Excellent." So
yeah, they talk to you, I think, which is really fun. It's not like they just walk by you, but I'll have to, there she is. She wouldn't let go of her Stormtrooper, and Rocco's sleeping there, but we stayed as long as we could. I think across the board, the entire family loved it.
We also went back a second night once Lisa's brother Tony surprised us, and we went to Oga's Cantina, the bar in the Galaxy's Edge area, and this place was mind-blowing.
Oh my gosh, take my money. Right?
Right.
It was one of the most immersive bars, and all from top to bottom, from the decor in there, the staff working, the drinks, the options. It was so much fun and completely worth. Like, we went to Hollywood and went to a bar,
right? Essentially
in Hollywood.
And this isn't a place where you're going to get a $5 or $6 drink. You're going to spend some money, but part of it is the theming. So these were the three drinks that we got. The green one was one I got, tequila-based. Lisa's the one in the middle with, it's called ant salt on it, and it's amazing. And her drink was wonderful. It tasted amazing. And then Tony had the one in the blue.
Tito's, I think it was like vodka.
Yeah, it was vodka-based. But if you get a chance to go, I mean, they told us when we walked in that you get a 45-minute window from once you enter to when you exit. We spent a little more money than we anticipated, so they didn't kick us out at all, and we got to have a little fun there. Here's some more just scenes of Star Wars outside of there. But Oga's Cantina was our chance to adult. This was just some of the basic stuff that you see there. I mean, basic. I say basic, but these are shops on the sides. But it looks and feels like you are walking in a Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I think through and through. That was what we took away from it, through daytime to nighttime, as you can see. So it's a definite must if you're going, and you used to not consider Hollywood. I think that's changing, and kudos to Disney for seeing that opportunity and grabbing it.
Yeah, here's just some more Star Wars stuff. At one point, we saw Rey, the title character from the last three movies, working on this spaceship, trying to get it up and going. Again, the Millennium Falcon. And one of the other things at Hollywood Studios that I love is Toy Story Land. It's their second newest land they have there. We haven't gone on all the rides there, but one of our favorites is Toy Story Midway Mania. Our kids are both into Buzz and Woody right now, so it gave us an opportunity to go and check that area out. And when we went back as adults, we got to do one of the rides again and just kind of take it in. So that's another super fun area that that is at Hollywood Studios and really adds to just the experience, along with Rock and Roller Coaster. And I did, for the first time ever, Tower of Terror, where you go up and you drop. And I had always been had trepidations about doing it, but
yeah, we could probably go on and on about Hollywood.
Anyway.
It really stole the show for us this year, and we have little friends that we brought home, as you can see.
Here's our little stormtrooper friend
that captured all the attention from all the guys and gals walking around.
Yes. So that was a great day at Hollywood Studios. The next day we started our day at the Grand Floridian, as we did for Dakota, the Bippity Boppity Boutique. And if you don't know what this is, it's a chance for little boys and little girls to kind of turn themselves into princes and princesses. And Dakota, as you can see here, became a princess.
Yeah, you know, this was something that I wanted to do for Dakota when she turned 3 that you can't do until you're 3 years old. And I didn't know what to expect. And I think for me, it was so much fun. Disney, again, I don't know why I even questioned it, did a great job. It was a long time she was in there and got the full experience. They did her makeup and her nails, and she got to pick out her hair and everything else. We did buy our own dress. You can choose to get them. For me, it's a little more than my liking of wanting to spend on a dress, nor does my daughter, I think, value of putting on a full-blown prom-style dress. And so I ended up buying a dress from Target and giving it to her for Christmas, and that's what she ended up wearing, which is much better because it was lighter. So I actually really recommend that route if you're considering doing this. But then she got to take everything home as well, which was great. So overall, that was really fun, and you can see they pampered her, and she just had a blast doing it as well. So Bibbidi started our day, and then we made our way into the rest of the theme park and took photos and went on rides. This is the day that Tony, my brother, as we've mentioned before, showed up unplanned and found us after a little bit of rain. And so that was really fun. And so here's a photo of us on a ride together, one of our favorites as well.
The Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, we were able to do that. So yeah, we didn't expect Tony to show up. He showed up. We kind of adjusted schedule and had fun with him. At night, as we were leaving, they still had their Christmas decorations up. Again, this was January 4th, so it was still fun to see that. We got some great shots of the fireworks there in the park. Just an absolutely wonderful experience at Magic Kingdom. It's one of those parks that you can definitely spend, if not 2 days at least, a lot of time in, because it is such a big park. It's kind of a classic, and we're just excited about that. We went on our final day there. We decided to go to Animal Kingdom in the morning. That's always been one of our favorite parks, and whether it's seeing the animals or doing the Lion King like Broadway style show, we've always had a fun time in Animal Kingdom. This time, it was good. We had a great time. It didn't hold up to the rest of the parks for me like it had in the past, and I don't know why that is, but maybe it was just because I was on Hollywood Studios hangover. But I had a great time at Animal Kingdom, just not kind of what I was expecting. I don't know.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom, I like to call it, is a park that has a better pace, I think. For the other ones, I didn't feel like I got to do everything we wanted, but the Safari is one of my favorites. The Lion King show is as well. The quality is fantastic, and then, of course, walking through Pandora is cool, too, and we got to see a show that we had never seen before. So for me, this is like a really good breather park in terms of it's really beautiful, and it's really fun, and it gives us a day where I don't feel like we have to be at the park until 8, 9, 10 p.m. and we can kind of head out and catch up a little bit. And then I find the bars really fun, shocker, right, there as well. And so Animal Kingdom has really fun spaces that you can get a drink and relax and be immersed in the beauty of the landscape around it as well. And so we, of course, took advantage of that also. So, yeah, I mean, still beautiful, and it was a great day, but it allowed us to catch up a little bit by having a shorter one.
Right, and the park was really busy this day. This is Expedition Everest, one of my favorite roller coasters. We actually didn't get to ride it this day just because it was so busy. But like Lisa mentioned, we went to the Dawa Bar. That's one of our favorites there. And had another cocktail later. The one that I got helped support snow leopards, so I was doing my job in conservation efforts. So that is the end of our slideshow. But we kind of wanted to touch on a couple of topics, some of our highlights from the trip, and I'll let Lisa start about her 3 that that really just impressed us and left this lasting impression.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be a surprise, but my three favorite things from the trip were the Bippity Boppity Boutique, watching that transformation with Dakota and doing that as a mom and Disney fan, and just that was exceptional for me. Star Wars Land, hands down. Top 3. I think I almost started crying at one point, which is really unlike me for my experience there, but I was just way blown away, and we ended up going back a different night to spend more time there, and I am anxious to get back to go spend more time. So I think for me that really sums it up. And then the Skyliner edition and staying on a property on it and taking buses from 2 of the parks was huge for me, with hauling kids around and all of our stuff. So those were the 3 highlights for me.
I would say that the Skyliner was definitely one for me. One, just because we all enjoyed it. Lisa's dad was using a scooter as we were going on this. He recently had knee surgery, and he was able to just pull this thing right in there. And then, it's kind of just this effortless thing to get from park to park. So I absolutely love that. Star Wars kind of just blew me away. Not just Oga's Cantina, but the whole experience. They did an amazing job of making you feel like you are inside Galaxy's Edge, on the planet of Batuu. And then my third one was probably just some of the new stuff I did. Like I said, I was always like, oh man, I don't want to do Tower of Terror, and I loved it. I used to never give Rock and Roller Coaster the time of day because it scared me. I was able to do that, and then I got to do some of my classics like the Haunted Mansion. Mm-hmm. So I got to do a lot of the things that I love to do, and knowing that I'm going to go back, there were some things that I would have loved to do, and I usually do, but I didn't get to do them this time. I'd probably say my number one regret on this trip is I didn't get to do the Carousel of Progress, which it's just this classic old school ride, but the song from it is one I sing to our kids most nights, and so I didn't get to do that. But I know I'm going to go back, so I'm going to get to see it again. We were just at Magic Kingdom so late that we had kids falling asleep on our shoulder, and it was time to go. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we had some of the same highlights there as well. And I think for us, when it comes to Disney to kind of assess what's going on, is we know Disney's going to do it's going to be a great experience for our family. And so the other thing we really like to consider when we're planning these trips is what we can do to save time and make things a little bit easier for us. So the last 2 trips, we've started to get the mugs that are available in the resort. We get one and we share it because we have no interest in trying to hold 2 while we have kids. That's worked out really well, and we'll continue to do that. So you can get the mug for $20 and then refill it with beverages at your resort the entire time you're there. So great value. Buy it instantly, I think, is where you get the most value. We continue to order Amazon food delivery. It's incredibly easy. On our way in, we put a grocery cart together, hit order, and it shows up at our resort 2 hours later. We don't even have to talk to the person. It's just at the concierge, and we pick it up. I do not, one of my biggest pet peeves when I'm traveling is wasting time in the morning on breakfast and getting the family together to go out to breakfast when it's not the point of our trip, because there's nothing exciting about breakfast. So breakfast and snacks are the things that we always order, and it saves probably over $100 in park prices and different things, when really you just want like yogurt or Cheez-Its or eggs or something in the morning, and bananas. We're a big PB&J family for the park, and it cuts down on having to stop even a time at a concession stand. Yeah. So I would say it gives us at least 100, if not more, back and hours on the trip from coordinating food. So that's like a couple things that I think that we do.
One of the other things, when we stayed at Art of Animation in the family suite, we did have a microwave in there, so we were able to make eggs. We found this great way to make eggs.
I don't think that we invented this, but
no, we didn't.
People
but it's
probably are aware of it, but it changed our trip.
Yeah, and also at the main food hall, they had toasters, so we were able to go down there when you get your coffee in the morning, do your toasters. Another thing, advice for adults: at night, if you do get that mug, and maybe you like to have a Jack and Coke or rum and Coke, bring some of your own alcohol, keep it in the room, you go and you fill up your mug, and then you've already got your soda there. You don't need to go buy any more to keep there. in terms of the scooter for Lisa's dad, my father-in-law, for his knee surgery, and our stroller, we got that from Scooter Bug. We had gone back and forth about bringing our own stroller, but that's just one extra thing that we have to haul. And based on our vacation, we're like, you know what, for however many dollars we can rent this for 5 days.
I think it was like
65 bucks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for Kevin with his knee surgery, you walk a lot at Disney World, and we just, all of us determined that it would be best for him to have the scooter. And it turned out that he loved it, and our kids loved it too. They also saw that as a chance to ride with Papa around the park. He was able to keep his cane in there. There was a thing in the front to carry beverages, so it was convenient. When crowds are busy, it might be harder to maneuver with a stroller and a scooter, but sometimes it's just, in that time of your life, you just kind of need to have it.
Yeah, I mean, those are really helpful things, and we tell people to bring their stroller,
Right.
and we'll tell people to rent it, I think would be our advice. We didn't have room in going we were on a different part of our trip before it and transitioning, so that just made it a little easier for this time, but it was really convenient. Everything coordinated, and the dropping off and being there is so great. I can't give enough praise to the efficiencies that Disney has put in place with their busing from the airport and delivery of all those various items too. That just makes it as easy as possible. So I can't wait for us to do a Disney trip in which we just fly to Disney and go from the airport again. We've done that before, and you don't have to get a car, you don't have to bring car seats, you don't have to do all that. So that's a bonus that we'll look for in the future. Yeah. But
Kyle, I don't know what auction you're talking about, but I'll auction anything off. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, we are selling. We did buy a really unique thing at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. My brother-in-law Tony's selling that right now, so we might put that link in here. It's
amazing.
It's a beer flight that you can only get at Galaxy's Edge. So 1, you have to get to Galaxy's Edge in Orlando. 2, you have to buy a ticket to get into Hollywood Studios. 3, you need to buy it there. So
and you have to get into Olga's Cantina, and they have to not be sold out. So it's a really nice plank of wood in which there's 4 slots, and it's Star Wars teeth from, I don't even know, I'm not like the best in this, so forgive me all you Star Wars groupies, but they're teeth in there, and they're ceramic, and they're incredibly nice, and so we bought a handful of these flights while we were there. But the after my beautiful drink I talked about earlier, I think my brain started processing the opportunities ahead, but in reality, Minnesota Viking fans, it's a horn beer flight sampler, whatever you want to call it. So it's pretty cool. And my brother, he has it available right now on Facebook.
Yeah, and in terms of, there's some people commenting about a couch, the Star Wars couch. I don't have a Star Wars couch. I don't know where these, the couch app, I didn't add anything on there. Maybe I got hijacked. I'm not sure. But, so we had a wonderful trip. We hope everybody enjoyed it. One of the few souvenirs we got, Lisa's holding in her hand. We always get a mug whenever we go, so there it is. This is a Small World mug. And
it was new. It was like one of their newer ones.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I'm excited to have it in the collection.
And then Dakota got one of these. She's a big fan of Chip because her mother had this one, a ceramic one, when you were a little girl, right?
Yeah, and apparently Disney doesn't even sell ceramic anymore. But
here's the new one, a little bit bigger, plastic. Here's the old one, ceramic. We've had to super glue it a time or two. So those were kind of
so 5 days in Disney. Love to talk to people about how to make your trip better. Help all the time with family and packing and items to bring on a plane. I'm getting some blog posts ready to share with you guys of suggestions I have. We ended up getting a wonderful thing for Max's mom for Christmas. That's this magic mat that was great to pack and bring in the hotel room to entertain the kids. So I kind of am happy to always share that. So if you have any other questions or comments before we sign off, do you want to see if there's any that have popped up? Everyone does it. Yeah, everyone does love Chip.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, so let us know. Give us a message on the Magic Travel Guy if you are ever interested in traveling to Disney or need some advice. Max is doing that. It's been quite busy since we got back of families looking to travel. So happy to keep going.
TheMagicTravelGuy.com, Max at TheMagicForLess.com. Happy to answer any questions you have and help you plan that magical vacation. So like Lisa said, send me any messages, put some comments in here. We'll try to answer those later. And we hope that you enjoyed our show today. Take care, guys.